listeners.
Hello. It's so nice to be able to connect with you like this. Hello, Kosi, as well. I can see you smiling.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks to both of you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedules to do this for us. We're so grateful. So grateful to both of you.
You're
It's an
welcome. Thanks
honor.
for
Oh,
having us.
thank you so much. Okay, so let's dig straight into the conversation. And we're talking tonight about becoming a leading lady. And I was thinking during the week, actually, it was on International Women's Day. And I was listening to a lot of ladies speak, and I realized how much of ourselves we give to other people. And sometimes we give so much to other people that we forget to pour into ourselves. And yet, the only way that we can become everything that we want to become is by first pouring into ourselves. And so I thought, why don't we talk about what it takes to really be that woman? I'm tempted to say the Proverbs 31 woman. I'm not sure if she exists, but something close to that. So let me start with you, Patience. What is your take on the concept of self love, or the concept of pouring into yourself in the journey to becoming, the absolute best that you can be as a woman?
I think it's absolutely important to start with yourself because leading others comes with leading yourself first. And until you master the art of leading yourself, it will be challenging to lead others. So you start with yourself, the discipline, make sure that, your mental, emotional, physical well-being is taken care of. And on an ongoing basis, you ensure that, the self-care that is needed so that when you face other people, you are, at your best. You're giving that to yourself. So I think it's absolutely important to love yourself and take care of yourself so that you are in a position to help others and lead them.
Kosi, when we say, take care of yourself or love yourself, it seems like, a good concept. But what does that look like in real life?
I think self love can mean different things to different people. And for some, it's about being very selfish about the way you look at things around you and how you protect yourself and your family and you protect what is important to you that one can see or look at as being selfish. And one can also look at it and say that no, it's actually protecting yourself or ensuring that you're able to fill yourself to be able to give off your best to someone else or to a group of people that you're working with. Self love really is something that everyone has to do once in a while because if you don't love yourself and you don't have that self love, which builds confidence, then how then do you lead people when you bring it back or juxtapose it to the conversations that we are having today? And so, in building self love, you build confidence. You are aware of yourself, you're aware of your challenges, you're aware of your handicaps, you're aware of what you're good at through the self love because you're spending time with yourself, you're spending time with getting to know yourself better, getting to appreciate who you are. And once you're able to do that, when it comes to leading or being a leader, then you're able to understand your handicaps and build on those handicaps. You're able to also show the good parts about yourself and use that to build the people around you. But if you don't have self love or you don't appreciate yourself, then it makes it difficult for you to be able to appreciate other people or to be able to even be confident enough to make decisions or take decisions that you would usually have taken. So for me, that's the way I see it.
Okay. So I mean, from self-love, let's move on to building capacity. So let me start again with patience. And when it comes to building capacity, I was listening to a few women speak again on International Women's Day, and there was one theme that run across most successful women. They talked about the fact that they had gone through a season of building capacity. So not just about dreaming the dream, but about becoming capable of living the dream. What was your journey like, Patience, and how do we do that? How do we build the capacity that we need to be able to show up when the opportunities come our way?
Thank you, Enimwa. So I think the journey is still ongoing. And for many of us leaders, it's not a destination. Leadership is not a destination. We are still learning and we are still building capacity. So it's about coming to the point where you know what it would take, whether it's the qualities, the skills, the personality traits, etc., the competencies that are needed for you to be a great leader. And for me, these qualities were acquired over time. So, for example, I'm naturally very passionate, and I approach everything I do with passion. So it's inherent. Adding on to that was perseverance. When you fail, being successful comes with failing. So sometimes you fail and you want to give up, but you realize that, giving up is not it. There are other people looking at you, people are looking up to you, etc. So you keep going. And then in the process, you develop perseverance in addition to the passion that you have. And of course, I'm very I like to do things a certain way. And I like to do things properly, but you realize not everyone is like you. So you learn flexibility. How do you accommodate other views? You learn that as well. I'm disciplined and I like to do things excellently. So all these qualities come to the fore and make you a great leader. And then there are competencies and skills. So technical skills, you've got to be good at your craft. And as a finance person, I'm a chartered accountant. I took the time to learn, to get my professional certification. In addition to that, I went through some leadership training, so strategic leadership, etc. And all these things add on, to round you and enable you, to be the inspiration that is needed at the leadership level.
Right. It sounds like a lot of hard work. To be honest, I know that even just getting the getting chartered as an accountant is crazy. I've had friends who've written the exams and they write and they write and they write and they write. It sounds like a lot of hard work. But Kosi, like Patience said, it takes a lot. Do you feel like, one, what do you think about the importance of building capacity? But do you also feel like maybe we see the dream and we underestimate how much effort and work must go into ourselves for us to be able to live the dream?
I think that we do underestimate it, and we also try to live other people's dreams. And we also try to believe, and a lot of times, a lot of instances in our society, people tell you their story of how they achieve their goals or the dreams. And so everybody thinks that is how, or this is the way. And the beauty of it all is that there's no right way and there's no one way to get to the destination that you want to get to.
Okay.
And so when we talk about building capacity in a lot of situations, people just think it's about going to school or taking a course or a class, and that's the only way to build it. But I think that Patience was she was clear, and what she talked about is really what it is, which is you build it over time. You build all these competencies, you build all these skills, technical, soft skills, leadership skills, adaptive change. You build all these things over time. And it's even with building the capacity within your social settings, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's the school, who's going to school, building the capacity from the educational front, then also coming into the workplace, building those capacities at the workplace, being with friends and building capacities, because you learn a lot. You spend a lot of time during your early years with friends and family, and so you build certain capacities that all translate or give direction to where you go, where your dream is. That is, if you even know where you want to go.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't know where you want to go. But one thing that I've come to learn, and from my experience, is that life really prepares you in some way.
Hello. Okay, I think we've lost Kosi. Patience, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I think we've lost Kosi, but she was making the point about life having a way of preparing you even when you don't
Yes,
really know exactly what you want to do.
absolutely.
So you know how
Yes.
you ask a lot of women, oh, so what do you want to be? What do you
Yeah.
want to what kind of life do you want to have? And you find that a lot of people don't actually know all the time.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, in cases like that, I find that there's like two groups of people, right? There's people who can tell you from when they're 6 or 7 years old that I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, I want to be that. Then there's another group of people who are kind of plodding along in life and like, I'm not too sure exactly what I want to do. I really want you to speak to the people who, or the women who have not been able to put their finger on exactly what it is that they want to become, and just talk to us about how to navigate your life in such a way that the lines fall for you in pleasant places, even when you're not too sure of the exact place that you want to get to.
I think, there's this thing that I want to say that, like Kosi was saying, everyone's purpose is different. And so, you know, if you take anything at all from this conversation, remember that I'm just here to inspire you, and I don't expect you to be like me because your purpose is entirely different from mine.
Yeah.
And for me, my story is one of purpose where I think my life is really being ordered by God, and everything falls in place to align to my destiny. So, opportunities, people, and everything, my experiences, whether good or bad, all line up and have made me who I am today and where I am today. So it's about giving everything that you are doing your best shot and believing that your steps are being guided, and you are being directed towards where God wants you to be, really.
Okay. So I think it was Barack Obama in one of his books, he talks about the fact that he never set out from the beginning of his life or said, oh, I want to be president of the United States of America. But somehow, one step and then a door opens, one step and then a door opens, one step and then a door
Absolutely.
opens, and then, woohoo, here he is, first black president of the United States. So, I mean, there's obviously an element of fate or an element of what will be, will be. But I really want, to ask you about how much it actually takes, then, the nitty gritty of matching every challenge that comes your way, finding that tenacity to match the challenges and overcome them so that you can move to the next level. Where do you find that, or how do you find that strength, that grace every single day, day in, day in, day out, to keep going? A lot of women are tired. They're raising children, they're, looking after their families, they're not making enough money. It's a lot. It's a lot. They're facing, so many issues at work with their bosses, with their mail counts. But how do you just continue to find that strength to be, the best that you can be every day, so that when the opportunities come, you don't miss out on them?
Okay. Is it me or Kosi? Because Kosi is back.
Oh, okay. Hi. Well, no, you can start and then she can jump in. So you can start.
Okay, so I think for me it starts with my relationship with God, and I'm sure by now you can deduce that I'm a strong Christian, and over time, I've developed my relationship with God. So I pray a lot. I tend to Him when I'm confused, etc. So when I'm exhausted, I don't know what to do. I go to Him, and that has kept me going, really. And of course, I've got a strong circle of family members around me, my husband, my children, my sister, my family, and friends as well. So that strong, first my faith and then social network, have kept me going. And so for me, it's more that. And then of course, understanding that leadership is not easy. I'm very hard on myself because I'm a perfectionist, but I don't give up when I failed, because I know that several people, there are examples out there that those who made it, had to go through lots of difficulty, and failing is not the end.
Yeah.
So that keeps me going. And the fact that everything I do to the glory of God. I know there's one person and he's cheering me on, and that's God. So that gives me enough motivation to keep going, even when the going gets tough. So really, that's how I, get through the tough times.
Okay. Kosi, what about you? I'm not sure if you were on to hear the question.
I have a question which was around how do you keep going?
Yeah.
And I think that for me, one of the things that I've come to realize is actually making a conscious effort not to give up. And it's important as a person to really look back at what circumstances or events or processes you've been through where you've given up. And you realize that for a lot of different people, and myself included in the past, you realize that it's so easy to give up. It's the easiest fallback you can have, which is, okay, I'm done, I'm tired, I can't deal with this situation. It's enough. I can do better. I can move on to the next level. And it's one of the things that I realized and I saw from people around me, and especially women, where you realize that the easiest default was to give up on the situation and walk away from it. And because it was such an easy default for all of us, you realize that it actually impacts negatively on your work. It negatively impacts on your growth as a person. And so how do you ensure that you're not consistently giving up? And it all goes back again to making that conscious effort. So I made my mind up and I made a conscious effort that I will catch myself at which points, knowing yourself as a person, which points do you see yourself giving up or walking away from a situation as a woman or as a person? And how do I ensure that I guard myself from making that happen or from letting history repeat itself constantly, where at this point, when there's a diversion to what I believe in, then I walk away from the situation. So as much as possible, it is a very important conscious effort. And it's really also praying and waiting for various situations and situations to happen. And those are some of the things that I personally do to ensure that I'm not walking away from situations.
Okay. Patience, let me come back to you. I want to talk about mentorship and having positive role models. But before that, I also want to. Okay, I was going to ask you something, but it's completely gone. So when it comes back, so let's just talk about mentorship and positive role models. How important is it? We hear people say that it's important to have role models and people you look up to and all of that. I'm hesitant. I don't know if I completely believe that. I've managed to make it through life, not really having any mentors or sponsors or all of that. But I wonder is that the next hurdle that I must cross to be able to get to the next level? Is it important to have mentors or sponsors, or people who are constantly guiding you or leading you, or is God enough really?
Yeah. I think, you can make it to a certain point by, learning and failing and getting up and, braving it and, forging on your own. But beyond a certain level, I think you need all the help that you can get.
Right.
And, the Bible talks about in the multitude of counselors, there's safety.
Yeah.
And it's with counsel that victory is won. So you've got to get advisors, counselors, whether be they in the form of mentors or coaches or sponsors or whoever, but you do need an army of helpers, really, to fulfill your highest potential.
Yeah.
And everyone has their full potential. You never know that without exposing yourself to all the help that is available. So some of us did a lot on our own. We learned through the process, but I can tell you upon hindsight that if I had more counsel in the form of mentoring, etc., I could have avoided certain mistakes here, here and there, and perhaps maybe even done more than I have done. So for me, I think mentoring is extremely important.
Okay, what about you, Kosi?
So I believe mentoring, sponsorship, having a godfather or a godmother is extremely important for your career, for your own self-development. It is really, really important because along the way, when you talk about capacity building, which we spoke about earlier, and you talked about getting to your dream, and most often you can't do it by yourself. Nobody can tell me they did it by themselves. There's always someone who's a cheerleader, someone who shows you where your blind spots are. There's someone who also kind of guides you and directs you through that path for you to be able to get to the point where you want to go to. And so it's really extremely important. And I'll give you an example. When I finished my undergrad, I was working on Wall Street as a banker. And I remember very well, there was a team in England that wanted me to move to England to sit on the emerging market desk. And I remember the sponsor or godfather I had in New York, who had actually pushed me and trained me and brought me into New York, had said that I need you to do me a favor if you want to move to England. And what you need to do before you move is to call the director of the desk and ask him if he would vouch for you. And at that age, just coming out of undergrad, you wonder, what do you mean by get him to vouch for you?
Yeah.
Right. And his first comment was, no, I need you to go and ask him that question. I was like, how do I ask a question like that? Anyway, I did go because he was like, go, you have to do it. And I went and I called this man and I said, his name was Abai. That was his first name. And I said, Abai, would you vouch for me? We had a conversation. Oh, so you're moving tomorrow. Are you ready? We have your apartment ready, everything ready. Are you ready for this? I said, yes, I am. But I just want to ask you a question. Are you willing to vouch for me? And he said, what do you mean? I said, are you willing to support me? Then he said, oh, yeah, sure. Why not? So I went back to my mentor at that time. And I said to him, I said, Boaz, Abai said he will vouch for me. He said, how did he say it? And I said, he said, I will, this is how he said it. And he said, he won't vouch for you. And he said, one of the things you need to understand and realize is that in this industry, you need godfathers, because you need someone who will be in the room when you're not there, or you need a godmother, or you need a sponsor, you need someone who, when you're not present at the table or you're not in the room, will vouch for you, will support you, will help you realize your dreams, will drive you to the next level. You need someone who can tell you that your path that you're carving is crooked and that this is how it should be, or help you realize that dream. And so it's extremely important. You need to seek out people like that. And you actually need to be bold to actually ask people if they're willing to support you. Sometimes you can't just assume that people will do it for you. You have to ask, like, can you be my sponsor? Will you support me? Will you be, a mentor for me? And you need to go out and seek it. and also be very thoughtful about where do I want to go and who are the kind of people that I want to associate with.
Wow, my next question was actually going to be how to find somebody, but I think
Yeah.
you've I think you've
Yeah, no,
answered
honestly,
yeah.
that was brilliant, Kosi. And I want to add, so to add more to what Kosi has said, which
Go ahead.
is excellent.
Okay.
I think your greatest opportunity to get a lifelong sponsor is when you're working with somebody. Your boss is your natural sponsor.
Okay.
So if after working with somebody he cannot recommend you, you are in trouble. And for me, my experience has been, I didn't set out to get sponsors, but all my bosses are my sponsors. So for my next roles, all my next roles came as a result of course, except this one, but most of them came as a result of my bosses recommending me. I had a role when I was in way back in Standard Chartered in South Africa, and the role came because, as the recruiter said, you come highly recommended. And guess who recommended me? My boss. When I joined Barclays as well, I was finance director. When my boss, who was the managing director, was moving on, he recommended that I act in that capacity whilst they look for a substantive MD. And of course, I was part of the process. So in the end, I got the role. So really, you must do whatever you are entrusted with so well that your line manager, your boss, would recommend you to take over his role when he's leaving or when he's moving on. That should be your yardstick.
Wow.
And if you miss that opportunity, you've missed a great opportunity to progress in life.
Wow. Patience, that last statement that you made, do whatever you are entrusted with so well that when your boss gets promoted, or when he moves on or she moves on, you are the one that he entrusts that role with.
And absolutely.
Yeah, that really just puts into perspective how much of our destiny is in our own hands.
Yeah.
Because right there, you've said that, okay, get a mentor, get somebody to teach you and all of that. But ultimately, the responsibility is on you to show that you have been taught, you have received the impartation, you have been filled, and therefore you can rise up and take on the next challenge.
You're ready, yes. So you must get prepared and get ready, yeah.
That's something else. Thank you so much for that, Patience, and Kosi as well for that story about your sponsor, and it really brings it to the reality that we can't really do this alone. But what we're going to do now is going to take a few messages from our friends, and when we come back, I want us to talk about something that women get bashed for a little bit. Our friends. The kinds of friends that we have. I was reading an article that said that you become the sum total of the 5 closest people around you. So if you look at the 5 people that you're closest to and look at their lives, that is you. You can't really elevate yourself above the people that are close to you. So let's talk about friends and the role that they play in us achieving our destiny and becoming leading ladies. Right after we do this.
Oh, Charlie, close the window small. Your room be too bright, oh.
Why, you be vampire where you know they like sunlight?
Oh, my guy, my eyes. Behind the PC problem.
Oh.
In the sun problem. Common light bulb stuff.
This no matter. I beg go Robert and Sons. Oh, yeah. Then my chick to him, I know correct. Cry. Where Robert and Sons sort them out sharp. Now, so stylish frames in the rock.
We go Robert and Sons right in. No, I was sitting inside proper.
For over 25 years, Robert & Sons continues to provide specialist eye care for both adults and children. Locate us at Adabaka, Adenta, Kumasi, Usudankwa, Tema, Weja, and East Legon. Call 050-151-9111. Robert & Sons, seeing is believing.
Our 130-year journey at Allianz has seen our operations growing to cover over 92 million Allianz customers in over 70 countries worldwide. Allianz Life Insurance Ghana, a subsidiary of Allianz Group, has put together a wide range of insurance packages to suit the pockets of every Ghanaian individual, family, group, corporate body, as well as their employees. Kindly call us on 030-2267-892 or 059-144-9686 or visit our website www.allianz-gh.com for more enquiries. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
All right, welcome back. This is Strong and Sassy here on Joy 99.7 FM. And we're having a really interesting conversation about becoming a leading lady. So becoming everything that you've dreamed of. What does it take? And I have Patience Achanu. She's the group CEO for Hollard Ghana. And also Mrs. Kosi Yankee Aya. She's the executive director for the National Board for Small Scale Industries. Yes, she's the woman who has been sharing money over the past few months with all the COVID stuff going on. So two amazing ladies. But just before we went, I did say that I wanted to talk about friends. So Patience, how have you picked your friends, and what role have they played in your life, and how important is it for a woman to have good friends or have that sister circle, and how do you even pick the people that surround you?
So anymore, most of my friends have been my friends for a very long time. My old school friends. So my closest friends I went to school with in Wesley Girls High School, and I've known them for.
Can we just have a Live Pure moment, please? Can we
I've known them for close to 40 years, and that makes me feel very old, So yeah, and they remain in my circle, all this while, and it's been amazing because no matter what, they stand with you. You really do need that social support, friends who are with you through thick and thin. And I've got some of those. So really, I'm one of those people. I like loyal people, and I'm loyal to my friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what are the qualities? Because we kind of feel like you hear a lot of these people say, oh, my friends are the people that I can vibe with. We have a certain energy, and so sometimes we're not intentional about the kinds of friends that we pick. Sometimes we're just kind of, gravitate towards people, and then, okay, yeah, we're buddies, we're friends, and then we go on. But do you feel like we really should be intentional and be specific about the things that we're looking for in the people that we surround? Or is it really just about the energy, the vibe, the chill factor?
Really it's a combination of things, really. There's the interest, there's the chemistry, there's whether you enjoy each other's company, etc. And they all, add up. But, interest and common interest is very key. So for somebody to be your close friend, you must have common interest. Otherwise, you'll not enjoy each other's company. So if you're somebody who likes church, somebody who is, a Christian, you gravitate towards people who are like you. And it's also personality. If you're quiet, you probably want somebody who is a bit more chitty chatty, etc. All these things play a role in you gravitating towards certain types of people.
Okay.
So it's a combination really of things.
Okay, Kosi, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that because of life and situations and circumstances and where you travel to and where you go to school, you make different types of friends. And all the different friends come in for different reasons. There are different seasons that you have friends. And for me, I have very diverse friends. And even my friends laugh at the type of friends that I have, because you can't say that this is the type of people Kosi is friends with. I have friends who I know from church. I have those who I went to Holy Child with as well. I heard people throwing those around, so I wanted to throw mine out. But really,
it's 2 against 1, Kosi. You can't win. It's 2 against 1.
Only today. Don't worry. Next time we'll change the dynamics. But from those from Holy Child that I've worked who I went to school with, we're in the same dormitories with. You also have friends that I went to college in there. I mean, I did my university, tertiary university, all in the US. And so I have friends from there. I have friends from people I worked with, people I met whilst I was working, people I met through other people, and all of them play a very significant role in my life. And you can't underestimate that, the power of having those friends. And it's also interesting because for me, friendship it's a give and take. And I always tell people that once I come into your life or you come into my life, we can't be the same. And when I say we can't be the same, again, it's not negative, but it's actually positive. We need to build each other up. We need to support each other, and we need to make sure that we're all growing together, because there's nothing worse than you're the only one growing and what's happening to everyone else around you. And so it's really tough. But so as much as possible, you realize that you've made friends through work, through school, through even your parents' friends' children now become some of them become part of your close network. And they all bring something so valuable that you need to be able to see that and to be able to build on that for yourself and for them, so that you can actually grow and strengthen your network. There are situations where they don't add to your life. There's some people who won't add to your life. But sometimes you also need to take a step back and realize that it's not everybody who can add to your life. What can you do for them? And maybe they just make you laugh, right? Or it's nice to talk to them, and it's okay. It doesn't have to add to where you're moving to. It just has to feel right, and it has to be right.
Okay. So basically, I feel like both of you are saying that friendship is really just, the chemistry and the, people that come across. So we don't have to be overly intentional when it comes to our circle.
No, I think there's that bit too. And I forgot to add that there's also friends that I've cultivated along the way. So I have friends from the Executive Women Network. We're all the founders of the Executive Women Network, for example, are now my friends. The founders of the International Women Forum Ghana chapter are also now my friends. And these are friends that I cultivated intentionally, because, the Bible says iron sharpeneth iron. So if you want to remain sharp, you want to keep developing yourself, you need to seek out certain types of people and be their friends. So there's that aspect as well anymore.
Okay, that's awesome. So we've done friends, and we've done sponsorship and mentorship, and then we've talked about the importance of building your capacity and loving yourself. Is there anything else from both of you that you feel that in that journey to becoming a lady of purpose or a leading lady, there's things that we should know?
I think, can I go on?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I think really a couple of other things, for me, that you must be prepared to take risk. A lot of us ladies are quite risk averse. And for you to be able to progress and take advantage of an opportunity, sometimes you must take risk. You must be prepared to leave your comfort zone, to build yourself up and acquire the kinds of experiences that you will need to be for your leadership responsibilities and for your next opportunity when it comes. So the first thing is be prepared to take risks and be comfortable outside your comfort zone, if you like.
Okay.
That's and then the second thing is also about visibility. A lot of us don't like to be visible. But for you to be actually noticed and giving certain responsibilities, you must be visible. So you must, for example, volunteer to do things, that will put you in the limelight, if you like, and so that people know what you are capable of when the opportunity comes.
Right.
And for me, it's quite key to be out there visible, doing things, volunteering. If the opportunity is not bringing itself, you volunteer. and that will stand you in good stead.
Right. Okay. Kosi, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yes, there's actually a few things. I think that Patience was very clear in what she said. One, taking the risk. And for a lot of us, especially a lot of women, we're so risk averse, not because of us, not because of, it's our circumstances, it's what we face on a daily basis, it's what we're used to, but it's important to take the risk. The second one is stop doubting yourself. We're always quick to doubt ourselves. And I remember very well when I was taking up this role and I was wondering, am I the right person? Right? And is this really, should I do this? Is this the right age? Right? And so you keep asking yourself all these questions, but some people will not. And in most instances, men will not ask themselves that question as to, oh, am I the right? Do I have the qualification? So you ask yourself all these questions and you don't even think about, actually, you are the right person. You have some of the qualification, you can build on your qualification and you can do the work, and you need to look at it. Then the issue of visibility that Patience said is so important. We hide away from it. I still do it. I still try not to be visible. Even coming on here, I was like, oh, really, should I do this? Wow. Is this really strong and sassy? What is so strong and sassy about what I'm doing? Right? That I should come and sit here and talk about it. Because you're also thinking, okay, what is the next person saying? Oh, I'm sure they're going to think, look at her. Is she really that? You have to be visible because you have a voice. Yeah. You have something you want to share, and you need to share it. And you need to let people know. And it comes to mind this quote when As Patience was speaking, which said, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Right? And so you need to really take that up and say, this is it. I'm going to do this. And the last one that I also want to talk about is we worry about being liked. Right? Okay. So it's like, oh, will they like me? Or will they, how would I look? Is this the right, how should I say it? Or, so it goes back to the whole doubting situation of I'm doubting myself. And, taking this role and even doing the work I'm doing, I've realized that it's not about being liked. And goes back to another quote that says, if you want to be liked, sell ice cream. But if you're giving out money or you're supporting businesses or you're in a position that you can touch lives of people will not like you. They will doubt you. They would say all sorts of things if they don't get what they want. But you just need to learn and realize that you need to focus on what you want to achieve. And if you're able to achieve that, and if you're working towards that, and you know in your mind, at the back of your mind, that what you're doing is really what it is that you want to achieve, and that you want to support people, then you're just going to focus on that and make it happen. Right. And so we shouldn't worry about, am I liked? It's not a popularity contest. It is about doing your work with passion and dedication and really hoping that you'd achieve the best for as many people as possible.
Wow, awesome. That's amazing. Patience and Kosi, absolutely amazing points there. And if you've missed Strong and Sassy, well, you can watch us again on Facebook, or you can go to My Joy Online. Most of what we've said tonight will be on there as soon as we post the article from today's show. But I just really want to say thank you to both of you. I know that you're both busy ladies and juggling a lot of things, but you took time out to spend with us this evening. It's been a Gehe Holiko collabo, so fantastic, even though it was 2-1. Fantastic. I've had Patience Achianu, Group CEO, Hollard Ghana, and Mrs. Kosi Yankee Aye, Executive Director, National Board for Small Scale Industry, sharing their evening with us. We're very, very grateful to you, Patience and Kosi. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
All right, well, it's football time and Barcelona versus PSG. And of course, my money is on Barca, Barca, Barca. Yeah! Hello, Gary.
Hi. Your money is on Barcelona.